UFC Saudi Arabia, Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov just ended, and this is going to be my full card post-fight. We'll discuss every single fight on the card. Adesanya gets finished by Imavov. Shara Bullet loses his undefeated streak. Pavlovich gets back in the win column. We're going to discuss it all in this video. Overall, for the amount of kind of hype for this card, the excitement I had for this card, it was a bit underwhelming, but I still think it was a really solid UFC card, even though I was slightly disappointed in some of the fights on the card. Let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with the most high-level fight on the card. We have Hamdy Abdelwahab versus Jamal Pogues. I mean, this was so elite and high level. It's not even funny. It's hard to, for someone like me who's not deep into the X's and O's, and I'm not a coach and I'm not studying, every technique ever. It's really hard to break down how high level this fight was. But Hamdy Abdelwahab wins via decision, split decision, by the way. And man, it was a barn burner from start. All right, let's be honest, okay? This fight was garbage. Pogues is claiming he was robbed. There's other people claiming Pogues was robbed. The commentary was awful. They were acting like Pogues was putting on a masterclass. First round, Hamdy clearly won. Striking was kind of even. I thought Hamdy had the edge with leg kicks, and he was able to get a takedown and do some damage on the ground. At one point, he reminded me of Brock Lesnar back in the day. He was like on the side of Pogues and then spun around to the back as the referee was yelling at him. Hamdy clearly won the first round. I don't think that's up for debate. Striking was kind of close. Hamdy had the ground control and damage. Second and third round was a whole lot of nothingness. Now, second round, I would lean Pogues because he landed a hard right hand at the end of the second round. Third round, Hamdy landed a good body kick. Pogues, I think, landed a head kick right after that. And then the round was really nothing, and I thought Hamdy landed some decent leg kicks. Pogues landed a couple shots. The commentary team was like, man, Hamdy's got to go. Like, Pogues had battered him the entire round. I don't think it was a robbery. I thought really, it was just a fight where Hamdy won the first round. Second or third are basically toss-ups. They could have won either way. Nobody really won this fight. We all lost. It was a horrible, atrocious, run-of-the-mill, NPC heavyweight battle. Is essentially what I got out of this fight. So Hamdy Abdelwahab gets the decision, even though it's a split decision. And now Pogues is acting like it was a brutal robbery, even though he didn't really fight at all either. So good win for Hamdy Abdelwahab. Okay. Next fight on the card. We have Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. This was actually a great fight. Honestly, this may be the best fight on the card. I got to be honest. In a weird way, it might be the best fight on the card. First round, Lucas Alexander defending takedowns, ending up on top multiple times, like 2 or 3 times. Not staying there, not electing to stay there for long periods of time, but then getting back to his feet, landing good shots on the feet. Bogdan Grad just kind of pressuring, marching forward, and eating kicks, and I think he ate a knee at one point, and just getting outstruck. And then he would grapple, and Lucas Alexander would defend, and it looked like Alexander would maybe end up in a bad position, then he scrambled out and end up on top. I think he literally did it 2 or 3 times in the first round. Second round, Lucas Alexander gets taken down essentially, ends up in full mount. I think he scrambles to half mount or half guard a little bit. And then eventually Grad, actually, let me rephrase that. Bogdan Grad actually kind of hurt him with a shot before he ended up taking him down. And then it was kind of battle between full mount and half guard. Eventually Grad ends up in full mount and just starts smashing him with shots badly. Elbows, 12-6 elbows, good ground and pound. And Lucas Alexander can't scramble out of the position. He just doesn't have enough strength to scramble out of the position. So he takes a bunch of ground and pound shots and he gets finished. TKO in the second round. Bogdan Grad. I think Grad kind of thinks he's better than he is. I mean, if he fights any really solid striker, he's going to get touched up badly. He does fight to excite. He does try to go out there and put on exciting performances. But, man, losing the first round to Lucas Alexander is not giving me good vibes for the future of his UFC career. But he gets it done nonetheless. He gets it done via second round, full mount, ground and pound. I love the use of the 12-6 elbows. And, of course, I'm sure he'll improve. But, yeah, the first round wasn't great. But Bogdan Grad gets it done in the middle of or at the end of the second round. It was a stoppage at the razor end. I just saw this right here. 4 minutes and 22 seconds into the second round. So Bogdan Grad gets it done. Next fight on the card. Ew. I don't even know if I should be discussing this fight. Jasudavicius versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Jasudavicius wins. She won the fight. She out-grappled Mayra Bueno Silva. Silva pulled a guillotine in the first round, then laid on her back the entire time. Second round, she got taken down and complained about shoulder strikes as if they were head clashes. And she was going... And then the second round, she had some moments on the feet, like with some standing elbows. She's plodding forward, looking like a total scrub. And then the third round, she got out-grappled in the third round. There was some striking. I think there was a takedown. She got up. There was another takedown later in the round after some striking. Jasudavicius won all 3 rounds. Maybe you could give the second round to Mayra Bueno Silva, but man, is it crazy that Mayra Bueno Silva fought for a title. Man, is that... Think about the level of women's bantamweight. If that's who's fighting for a title. I mean, I guess she's at flyweight. This is at flyweight. See how disconnected I am from this fight? This was flyweight bout. So yeah, she moved down to flyweight after... I don't know. Jasudavicius gets it done. She says she's ready for a title. I don't think she looked particularly good. I don't think she's beating, the top level of flyweight. She's not beating Grasso. She's not beating Menonfior. She's not beating Valentina Shevchenko. I think Fior's probably going to beat Shevchenko in her next fight, which I've been saying for a while. But yeah, Jasudavicius gets it done. She's on a decent win streak. She beats Mayra Bueno Silva. Next fight on the card, we have Terrence McKinney versus Damir Hadžović. Terrence McKinney, first round TKO. Yeah. What's there to say here? I mean, Terrence McKinney came out, started bullying him, just started walking him down, beating him up. Hadžović threw some shots back, landed some shots. Eventually got tired of the pressure, shot a takedown. Got the takedown. Terrence McKinney locked up a guillotine, used it to reverse position into the mount. And then... essentially from there, man, he just turtled up. Terrence McKinney was using some 12-6 elbows. I think it was Jason Herzog was like, watch the ear. Fighter, I'm going to need to see something here. And then eventually he just stepped in and stopped the fight. I mean, back shot's dead, kind of. It's kind of a back mount a bit, the way he was rolling around. But yeah, Terrence McKinney ran through him. I mean, anybody picking Damir Hadžović, delete yourself from the sport, okay? Damir was going to lose this fight, but who knows? Terrence McKinney could have gassed out. Somehow Damir survives, and then it gets to the second round. But yeah, I didn't think that was super likely. Terrence McKinney had the striking advantage, has the youth advantage, has the speed advantage, has the power advantage, has the wrestling advantage, apparently has the jiu-jitsu advantage as well because he locked up a guillotine that reversed into the full mount, and he gets it done via first round KO. Next fight on the card. I mean, look at this. Look at that. You could Photoshop my face. This is exactly what I look like shirtless, in case you guys are wondering. I mean, look at this pure physical specimen right here, okay? Look at this pure physical specimen, and Shamil Gaziev went out there and starched Thomas Jefferson. Boom, put him down, had Thomas Jefferson taking out his mouthpiece while he was KO'd. I mean, what's there to say about this fight? Gaziev was pressing, landing some decent shots. Petersen was having some moments, landing some kicks. Petersen shot a random takedown, got Gaziev down for a second, but Gaziev popped right back up. Gaziev was sniping him with that right hand over and over and over. I mean, it was only a 3-minute fight. Throughout that 3 minutes, Gaziev was landing the right hand over and over and over again. They're on the feet. They're kind of slopping around. Boom, Gaziev hits him with a straight right, puts him down. He's done immediately. The way he falls is like, just a dead body, like horrible video game physics, dead body fall, basically. And Gaziev doesn't even follow up, and the ref steps in right away. And Petersen, as he's down there, he starts taking out his mouthpiece. Very, very kind of weird finish. If you haven't seen it, go watch the finish. But yeah, Gaziev is the future heavyweight. And I know that we say that as a joke, like Gaziev's kind of become a meme because, he had that fight against Jorginho, and, heavyweight is a bunch of fat asses, essentially. But, being serious, heavyweight's dead, guys. Gaziev is literally the future of heavyweight. And I remember, I think on the commentary team, they were saying Thomas Petersen was rooming with Jamal Pogues. Yeah, I think they were eating dinner together, too. I think they were eating dinner together quite a bit as well. I mean, I know people are going to laugh and say, Joey, who are you? These guys are supposed to be elite-level athletes, okay? And look, he can't be in the shape that Shamil Gaziev's in. Shamil Gaziev is looking ripped, jacked as hell, and definitely clean, okay? So Thomas Petersen, Jamal Pogues, eating dinner together. Luckily, it's not like Jamal Hill, because then he'd be missing his teeth coming into this fight. He would need his mouthpiece for dinner as well. But Shamil Gaziev goes out there, finishes him in the first round. Good win from Shamil Gaziev against Thomas Jefferson. Next fight on the card. Is this the featured prelim? I believe this ended up being the featured prelim. We had Muhammad Naimov versus Kaan Ofli. Muhammad Naimov won via unanimous decision. Garbage fight. I mean, low-key, really garbage fight. I'm going to be honest. And I don't think either guy has anything to be super proud of. First round, there was a nut shot early. There was a pause in the action. Ofli was stalling with clinch work throughout the fight. I just thought first round, Naimov landed the better shots. Dropped him with hurt him really badly. I think he even dropped him with a shot towards the end of the first round. It was a close round up until that point because Kaan Ofli was stalling with the clinch, double underhooks, had the grip around the back, but then hurt him and then shot right away, like just trying to seal the round. Second round was a very boring, clinch-heavy round. Naimov had one takedown, didn't do anything with it. And Kaan Ofli landed a left hand that kind of wobbled Naimov. So actually, I gave Kaan Ofli the second round. I forgot what the official scorecards were, but I gave Kaan Ofli the second round. Then the third round, Ofli shot an ugly-ass takedown. And he shot in, and then Naimov just sat into mount. Landed some good elbows, took the back for a little bit, didn't do anything crazy off the back. And then Ofli eventually stood up, and Naimov just went, stood up himself, took off the body triangle that was kind of really wasn't there, perfectly placed. And then they were striking. Then Kaan Ofli kind of got a little bit aggressive at the end, but not really aggressive enough. Landed some shots. Naimov was gassed. Ofli seemed to be fresher. But, man, it was a horrible performance from both guys. Naimov was getting out-muscled by Ofli, which surprised me. Ofli's going to watch back this fight and have the ultimate regrets. I really think he could have found a way to win that third round and then maybe ultimately win, because Naimov was exhausted for no reason. I don't understand how these guys don't have, like, what? How do you not even have cardio? Why are you in the UFC? You don't have cardio. But yeah, I think Ofli's really going to be kicking himself, and it's a horrible performance. It's probably going to get him cut from the organization, if I'm being honest. But Kaan Ofli fumbles the bag, and Muhammad Naimov gets it done via unanimous decision. First fight on the main card and low-key banger was Fair Ziam versus Mike Davis. Fair Ziam gets it done via unanimous decision. Very bizarre performance from Mike Davis. I've seen people speculating about a potential injury. Early in the first round, he's pulling guard 2-3 times. I don't get it. Ziam's kind of like, okay, he's kind of confused. You can tell he lands some shots, but he just tries to get back up. Ziam gets to the feet, just starts ripping body shots, ripping uppercuts, landing good shot, landed a spinning back fist. Late in the first round, Davis kind of got like a back take. I think he was rushing forward, and Ziam was kind of trying to turn and get away. And Davis grabbed a hold of his back, kind of gave him a little angle suplex and just right into the back mount. Then got the full mount and did no damage. This was like 45 seconds left, did no damage. So Ziam clearly won the first round. I had Ziam winning all 3 rounds. Second round, Davis landed a couple big shots. He got aggressive early, landed a couple big shots, looked for the same kind of takedown as he did in the first round. And they end up in a grappling exchange up against the fence. And Mike Davis is kind of just hunched over with like his hands on the ground, but Ziam can, I don't even know if his hands were actually touching, but Ziam can still knee. His corner's literally saying, watch out for the knee. Watch out for the knee. This goes on for like 10 seconds. And then finally, I think Ziam hurt him. So let me throw a knee. He throws a knee, bust Mike Davis up bad, bloodies him up. I mean, he's leaking everywhere. And I went back and checked because I wasn't sure, because right after the knee, there was a nice solid punch. But the knee, he immediately started leaking. I checked it on the replay. And Ziam bloodied him up badly. Then after that, picked him up, spine busted, and there was a weird leg entanglement where it looked like Fair Ziam knee was just going to burst because Mike Davis was going for like a leg lock. At one point, I think it was in the second round, Mike Davis was looking for a heel hook, and I swear on my life, it was not even remotely close. Tyone got close like he was going to stop the fight. But there was this weird leg entanglement. It looked like maybe Mike Davis is going to end up in a really good position similar to, what was it? Roman Dolidze versus Jack Hermanson in a calf slicer. But it seemed like Ziam was able to be flexible enough, and also it gave him enough leverage to kind of, scramble out here, scramble out there. And Ziam ends up on top, landing some more shots. And it's clear to me, at this point, it seemed like Mike Davis had quit. At the end of the round, he's laying on the mat, refusing to get up. The UFC cut man comes in and helps him up, which I thought was, they're automatically calling that a TKO. They did that for a recent fight. I don't remember what fight that was. I'm trying to remember what fight that was. I believe it was a heavyweight matchup. I'm sure someone will know down in the comments. I'm not going to spend my time looking it up right now. Davis was done. Third round, Ziam's getting easy takedowns, getting control, landing good elbows. And basically, you know, Mike Davis kind of looking for leg entanglements. I think he got up one time, and then Ziam shot a double leg and then switched to a single leg and was able to get it. And I think at the end of the fight, Mike Davis scrambled out and ended up on top off like a leg entanglement, and Ziam was tired from doing damage. But yeah, Ziam put on a masterclass here, okay? Beat him up. I'm telling you, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I said it on stream today. Mike Davis strikes me as a guy that's got a lot of money in his bank account. And when you got that much money in your bank account, you don't want to show up and fight. And you're inactive, and that's what Mike Davis is. Fair Ziam is getting better with every performance. He went out there and dominated Mike Davis. Could he have been injured? Sure, maybe he was. I don't know. But either way, Fair Ziam beat him on the feet, beat him on the ground, beat him everywhere, out-cardioed him. The only thing Mike Davis had was those couple leg entanglements. So Fair Ziam gets it done. Great performance. Would love to see him against a Yoel Alvarez. Imagine how great that fight would be. I know it's kind of like contender versus contender, or up-and-comer against up-and-comer. But man, Fair Ziam versus Yoel Alvarez would be an incredible fight. Next fight on the card, we have Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. Vinicius Oliveira wins via decision. Man, I know there's going to be some people out there reveling in like, man, the Dagestani lost. I mean, Said Nurmagomedov is not even a ranked guy. But what's crazy to me is these guys both essentially had 1.5 rounds of cardio. I mean, Oliveira clearly had the better cardio. That's what won in the fight. Let's go through it round by round real quick. First round, Said was looking good, landing inside leg kicks, landing head kicks, landed a spinning back kick to the body, which we found out Oliveira had like a broken rib or something. There was an eye poke at one point. Vinicius eye poke Said Nurmagomedov. It looked, I think they showed the wrong replay because Oliveira was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. Like Oliveira felt like he did it. The replay was a little bit shaky, but then Said hurt him at the end of the round, but it looked like it might have been a head clash, but then there was a punch right afterwards, so we don't really know for sure. And then at the end, Said Nurmagomedov, after that exchange threw a flying knee, ended up getting taken down, but Said clearly won the first round. Second round, they were both exhausted like a minute in. I mean, both guys, I think early Said's exhausted throwing spinning back fists. I think it cost him a takedown early, but Oliveira didn't do much with it. Said got a couple takedowns. It was like he was panic shooting, and he was getting a couple takedowns, but Oliveira was working his way back to his feet. Second round, not a whole lot happened. Let me actually look at the stats, even though I don't really believe in the stats. Yeah, second round, not a whole lot really happened, but I had it Oliveira just barely. And then the third round was like a garbage round where Oliveira was basically on top in like scrambling positions as Said's like holding on to a leg. Said got up or Oliveira like scrambled out and got up at one point. Said landed a head kick, but then immediately shot an ugly ass takedown. Both were completely gassed. And I had third round for Vinicius Oliveira as well. It just came down to the gas tanks, man. Vinicius Oliveira had a little bit better gas tank than Said Nurmagomedov. But man, I was actually embarrassed of Said's cardio. How are you 135? How do you even have any muscles? I got better cardio than Said Nurmagomedov, all right? I know someone's going to say something about that. But cardio was horrific. I didn't think Oliveira looked particularly great either. He gets the win, which against Said, I think Said, I was thinking Said was actually a really good fighter, but I guess without a gas tank, he isn't. Maybe it's a weight cut. I don't know. There's no explanation for having that bad of cardio, but Sedyukov Kakramanov was beating him up until the submission. I mean, Nurmagomedov was looking for the guillotine multiple times. I thought that's what he would eventually get. Never really got close to it. But then you have Oliveira afterwards calling out Umar. And Ariel Helwani saying, great idea, tremendous idea. What is wrong? Like, I'm all for hyped up prospects jumping up in the division, okay? I don't care. You know, I don't like undeserved title shots, but if you want to take a guy like 15 and jump him up to number 1 because everyone thinks he's the guy, Oliveira versus Umar Nurmagomedov is not even remotely competitive, okay? That's a farce of a fight, okay? So I have no desire to see that at all. But yeah, Oliveira gets it done against Said Nurmagomedov. Next fight on the card, we have Sergei Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. This was a horrible fight. Heavyweight is dead, man. First fight, slow, boring. I think it was in the first round where it seemed like Pavlovich landed a big shot, and it was like Rozenstruik tripped back, and Pavlovich ended up on top, but the shot really didn't even land. I think something similar happened in the second round where it looked like a shot landed, but Jorginho was off balance, and Pavlovich just ended up on top of him and doing a little bit of ground and pound. Third round, Pavlovich actually hurt him twice. I think it was with a left hand. Did some decent ground and pound, and I think at one point ended up on top, got some ground and pound. I think Jorginho got up one time, and then I think it was towards the end of the round, Pavlovich hurt him again, but never really went after him, just kind of hurt him and then sat back. I don't know if Pavlovich, the KOs messed with his mind against Tom Aspinall, but man, heavyweight is dead. Heavyweight is dead as hell. Pavlovich gets it done, unanimous decision. I mean, clearly Pavlovich was the better striker. I don't know why Rozenstruik wasn't chopping the legs. We did see Pavlovich throw a couple inside leg kicks this fight, which was a nice mix into his game, but I don't know what to say about this fight. It was a garbage featured heavyweight bout that we all expected a KO, never really got close. The first and second round were, an abomination to the sport. And if Rozenstruik is getting taken down multiple times by Pavlovich, go to GF. Close down the heavyweight division, guys. The heavyweight division is completely dead. If Jones is gone, Jones doesn't even really belong in heavyweight. Let's be honest here. Once he's gone, what's the heavyweight division going to be? I guess it's going to be Aspinall at the top until someone fluke KOs him, which is bound to happen. So Sergei Pavlovich gets it done in the featured fight on the card against Jorginho Rozenstruik. I thought he was the GOAT, man. I think Rozenstruik, you can't take the GOAT status away from me yet. He's just on the decline a little bit. He loses against Sergei Pavlovich. Next fight on the card, the co-main event. I think I'm going to have a hot take on this one. We have Shara Magomedov versus Michael Venom Page. This was a shit fight. It was a really shitty fight. Michael Venom Page wins via unanimous decision. It was a garbage fight. First round, really nothing happened at all. Shara landed a couple leg kicks. At one point, Michael Venom Page rushed in and pushed him to the ground. There was a couple body shots by MVP. There was a wheel kick at the end that partially landed. Kind of landed to the chest, kind of landed to the chin. Didn't really hurt Magomedov. I thought the first round probably went to Shara, just off leg kicks. And then the second and third round, Michael Venom Page clearly won the second round in my opinion, but not by much. He was just leaping forward, wasn't super effective. Shara was just kind of staring at him because he's, and he was reacting to the feints. Unlike Ian Machado Gary, people kind of laughed at Gary's striking defense in that fight, but he just stood there firm and flat-footed and didn't really react to the feints. Shara was kind of reacting to the feints. He was landing some leg kicks, but it was just MVP, had Shara playing a guessing game. And even in the clinch, it seemed like MVP, even though he had Jamal Hill's body type, he had a bit of a muffin top at middleweight. Shara didn't even look good in the clinch at all. And I know some people are saying, oh, Shara exposed, Shara fraud. If you ever thought Shara Magomedov was elite or good, then you are an idiot. So I thought Shara would beat MVP because I thought they were about the same. And I thought Shara's size advantage would help him win this fight. I thought he'd chop the legs. But man, he fumbled bad. He only threw leg kicks. I don't know if he landed any real shots. Third round was close and really garbage. I gave second. Let me be very clear. I gave second and third to MVP. I thought going to the scorecards 1 and 3 could have been Shara. I thought going to the third round was very, very close. Second round I thought clearly went to MVP. First round could have went either way. You could have it 30-27 for MVP. You could have it 29-28 for Magomedov. But I'll just say this, man. When I watched MVP's entire run through Bellator. When he's not fighting bums, straight up garbage can bums. I'm not talking about Shara type bum. I'm not talking about the one-eye pirate type bummy. I'm talking about straight up Kentucky State Fair prelims bums. He's just not the same. Look what Gary did to him. Gary beat him pretty easily. I know people thought it was close, but that's because they're biased against Ian Machado Gary. How good is Gary, man? Dealt with MVP, who's got a tricky style. Don't get me wrong. I think MVP is a very good striker, but it's just it's almost a freaky, in and out, awkward style that kind of stalls the fight out. It's just, I don't know. I found it really annoying. I was looking forward to this matchup. I thought it would be better. I knew it could be a stinker, but it was just kind of disappointing. But MVP gets it done. I don't know what his future at middleweight is. When he fights any grappler, he's going to get taken down. But his in and out movement against one eye, Shara Bullet, was able to get it done. He gets it done via unanimous decision. Next fight on the card, the main event. We have Israel Adesanya versus Nassourdine Imavov in the main event. Nassourdine Imavov wins via second round KO. I did a full breakdown on this on the channel already. If you care to check it out, it's like a 20-minute breakdown. I'll link it down in the description as well as the end cards. I got to be honest, Adesanya looked amazing. First round, stuffing the takedowns. I think there was 2 really deep shots from Imavov that were stuffed by Adesanya. There was like one time where he clinched up, where it looked like he was going to look for a takedown that Adesanya immediately disengaged in. Adesanya chopping the legs, landing jabs, switching stances, moving well. Towards the end of the round, he got clipped with an uppercut, but it wasn't very clean. It looked clean live, but when they showed the replay, it wasn't very clean at all. And then it looked like there was a right hand. It really landed on the chest, shoulder area of Adesanya. And Adesanya circled out, and I think Imavov then shot a takedown right afterwards. Looked deep in on a double leg, stuffed with ease. And I'm looking at the first round like, oh, Adesanya's got this in the bag. And Imavov looks tired on the stool, and we know Imavov's cardio is kind of sus. Second round, they come out. Adesanya immediately lands a leg kick. Then I think he threw a body kick. Then there was an eye poke. I think right off the body kick, there was an eye poke. Adesanya got eye poked. He immediately told the ref he tried to pull to Pereira. He said, oh, no, I got this. He throws another body kick. Nassourdine Imavov kind of catches the heel and uses it to close the distance. Lands a picture-perfect right hand. We're talking like 4 seconds after the eye poke. Lands a picture-perfect right hand. Hurts Adesanya. He's kind of falling down in like a kneeling position up against the fence. And then what really won the fight for Imavov is he came up, he turned his hips over, launched in with a picture-perfect left hand of Adesanya up against the fence, hurt him badly, went into like a back mount position at this point, starts laying down ground and pound. Goddard's looking at it, stops it. It was a hair early, but I don't think it changed the outcome, and I don't think it was that bad. Like, it was, I'm literally splitting hairs saying it was a hair early, because Adesanya's body language, the way his body was moving, he looked kind of lifeless a bit. It looked like he may have actually went out cold, is what I'm trying to say here. Back shots dead from Imavov. And you guys I get called biased all the time. Bro, you always pick the Dagestanis. In this case, I didn't. And look what happened. This is why I picked the Dagestani guys. Look what Nassourdine Imavov did. These Dagestani guys are hard to beat. And I think Imavov was a bad pick, which is crazy because he won. But I still think he was a bad pick. I thought Adesanya can outstrike him everywhere. Adesanya can stuff his takedowns. Adesanya has the better gas tank. But man, as you get older and you start losing some fights, this is what happens. You got to appreciate these guys in those moments in time where they're on top of the world. They're the elite of the elite. Think about the perception of Adesanya post 287. Slumped out Pereira out cold. Lost to Strickland, lost to DDP, lost to Imavov. And by the way, I don't think Adesanya is completely washed up or anything like that. And I think it's taken a bit away from Imavov, because Adesanya still looked very good in this fight. I don't think Adesanya is like on some Tony Ferguson type run, even though it's a losing streak. I still think he's very good. I just think he's losing a step. You know, maybe his reflexes aren't as good as they once were. I thought he looked very good. I mean, he was landing body shots. He was touching up the legs of Imavov. Imavov was starting to look tired. You could see Adesanya was investing in the body. But man, you eat that right hand. That right hand that Imavov landed was nasty, right on the chin, hurt Adesanya bad, and ended up leading to a back shots dead finish. And Imavov gets it done. He calls for a title shot afterwards. I think you got to give the title shot to Khamzat Chimaev. I know people downplayed the win over Usman. The Usman win was good. I thought the destruction of Whitaker, who looked better than ever on a win streak at the time, was amazing. I'll tell you right now, I tweeted this out. Chimaev, I said this in my other video too. Chimaev, Imavov, and Barajo, what do they all have in common? They all deserve a title shot more than Sean Strickland. So I think Imavov's not going to fight right away. DDP versus Strickland's next week. I think you give Chimaev the winner of that fight, which I believe they will. I believe they will do that. And that'll probably happen like International Fight Week or a little thereafter, depending on when DDP's time frame is ready. Imavov can wait in the wings. Imavov could even fight Barajo for #1 contender if he wants to. So I think you do Chimaev for the winner of Duplessis versus Strickland. But man, great win from Imavov. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. Was this Dagestani privilege? Was this Dagestani privilege? By the way, Ariel was like talking, not without controversy. Like, dude, shut up. You're building narratives that aren't there. Was talking about, man, the eye poke there, man, and a bit of an early stop. I don't know if he said the early stoppage, but he was talking about the eye poke. Imavov gets it done. Adesanya's lost 4 out of his last 5. I don't think he's completely washed up. I think he'll probably be back. I think he's definitely going to want to get a win. He might retire after that. I say you book Adesanya versus Shara Magomedov. I think that's the fight to book. I think really that's the fight to book. So I think you book that next. Adesanya can get a win probably. I mean, he will get a win, I'm pretty sure, unless his chin's completely gone. which I don't think it is, because even this, he wasn't like put out badly cold or anything like that. And even the others fights, even against Pereira, wasn't really out cold. DDP got choked. He took a shot against Sean Strickland. So I don't think his chin's completely gone. I think he beat Shara and then maybe, you know, retire after that. But yeah, man, Nassourdine Imavov gets it done in the second round, 30 seconds into the second round. UFC Saudi Arabia, for as good as the card was, I feel like it disappointed a little bit, but I still enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought about the card. Like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I might go live later tonight, so make sure you have notifications on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.